questions that we get from a lot of our clients is, what type of contracts do I need for my business? And the reality is it's a little different for every type of business that there is, but we find generally there are 5 types of contracts that you should very strongly consider having in your business. I'm also going to give you, at the end of this video, one tip that you may not realize that's going to be very important for you. I'm going to give you the 5 types of contracts that you should consider having in your business. First, you may need a contract for the goods or services that you provide. With our law firm, we call this an engagement agreement. If you are a home improvement contractor, you should have a written contract with the customers that you work with. So depending on whether you provide goods or services, you may want to consider having a contract in place for that. Second, you may want to have contracts in place with your employees or independent contractors. And these are 2 different categories because we can't treat them the same. But if you have employees that are working for you, you may want to include things like a non-compete agreement or a non-solicitation agreement. An independent contractor contract may contain some of those provisions, but it may have some other additional terms that you may want to have in place. It's really important to protect yourself from contractors and employees in your business, and you can protect yourself with the contract. Third, you may want to have a release of liability. This doesn't sound like a contract, but it really is. It's an agreement where whoever is signing the release is agreeing not to sue you, basically, for something that may happen to them. So depending on your business and the risks that you face, you may want to have this type of release of liability in place. Fourth, your business may have leases. Maybe you rent your location. Maybe you rent equipment or vehicles, and these leases are contracts. They're binding. They're hard to get out of. So these are contracts that if someone else hands it to you, you want to have it reviewed properly so that you can make sure that your interests are protected and that you aren't going to get in huge trouble if you do want to get out of this agreement later on or if something else happens. Finally, depending on the type of business, you may want to have a non-disclosure agreement in place. If you've got trade secrets or patents or some proprietary information that you want to protect yourself from getting out into the public domain, you may want to have a non-disclosure agreement in place. Now, sometimes non-disclosure agreements can be really off-putting to people. For example, there are many investors who won't even sign the agreements, and that's fine, but depending on the circumstances, you may want to have a non-disclosure in place. Now, at the beginning of this video, I promised you one additional tip or one secret that you may need to know about, and this is something that not a lot of people realize. You can have a contract without anything in writing. A verbal agreement between 2 people can form the basis for a legally binding, enforceable contract. So you want to be very careful what you agree to verbally, even if you didn't put something in writing, because it could form the basis for a contract. Or if you do have a written contract, make sure you're not changing the terms of that by other agreements and other discussions that you've had. So that's one way to really keep yourself out of trouble, is make sure that everything is in writing and it's complete and it's thorough. If you'd like some more information about what type of contracts may apply to your business, please reach out to us.